Welcome to Fossil Arcade for an in-depth review of the Sega Dreamcast Arcade Stick. Manufactured by Sega, the arcade stick is designed to enhance the experience of the Dreamcast's nearly endless library of arcade ports. Getting one of these now can be very expensive, especially if you've never tried one before, so I wanted to give people a closer look at its pros and cons. To show it off, I'll be playing two classic fighting games.
Mixing the styles of Street Fighter and King of Fighters, Capcom vs SNK is the perfect blend of 2D fighting styles. This is a great game for hardcore players and beginners alike, as it involves many of the genre's fundamentals and complexities still relevant today. Of course, traditional 2D fighters execute moves by linking familiar stick movements combined with a well-timed button press. If you're serious about 2D fighting, you'll need to put in hundreds of hours of training in combos, cancellations, and chaining. For that, you'll need a controller that won't let you down.
If you're unfamiliar with these kinds of games, but want to give them a try, let me tell you the arcade stick definitely improves performance, at least in my case.
Executing a Hadouken or Shoryuken can be tricky at first, but with a quality arcade stick it's easy to teach yourself increasingly more complex actions thanks to consistent feedback from the hardware. This is something lacking in a thumbstick. Despite its appearance, the base of the joystick is actually square, not circular. This seems counterintuitive to performing actions known as quarter circle or half circle back, but it's actually not bad at all. You'll get a satisfying click and jolts feedback from hitting the stick's corners, which can help improve muscle memory and timing.
As this is a reproduction of arcade standards of the era, you can be assured that you're playing the truest form of the game as intended by its developers.
Capcom vs SNK is great for beginners as you can mix and match characters and gameplay styles, or grooves, giving you a bit of everything to learn. The Capcom groove will give you 3 stages of super meter, whilst SNK gives you a progressive meter which you can actively charge. Both grooves also sport their own artwork, although the Capcom groove is a little less attractive, in my opinion.
Overall, I would highly recommend this game. Although the Capcom roster is less diverse than the SNK side, pulling almost exclusively from Street Fighter, it's still a great way to familiarise yourself with multiple classic characters, which will easily translate to other games in the genre.
Moving on to SoulCalibur, Namco's weapon-based 3D fighter and one of the most renowned games for the Dreamcast. Manoeuvring around a 3D space with an arcade stick can feel strange at first, but overall the precise movements of the stick itself are greatly beneficial to SoulCalibur's gameplay.
2 opponents battle it out in arenas of different shapes and sizes, with each wielding a weapon such as swords, axes or staves.
Like any 3D fighter, there's a range of horizontal and vertical moves to attack with. But, as well as basic moves, characters can perform different stances, which grant access to other types of attacks and counters. Learning each stance for your fighter is important to playing unpredictably. Additionally, you'll want to make the most of the space around you for dodging and recovering.
Once again, it's the hard edges and more distinctive movements of the stick which make it valuable. It's much more easy to learn and master individual moves by recognising feedback from the stick to your hand.
SoulCalibur is the perfect companion to Sega's arcade stick. With motion-captured fighting animations and extremely responsive controls, it's a joy to play and master. Although using a standard handset is no problem, you will see tangible improvements with the arcade controller.
A new soul arrives.
This briefly covers those games and the stick's benefits, but what are the downsides to this controller?
Unlike other Dreamcast controllers, there's only one VMU port, which is an odd choice given the overall size being more than large enough for 2. I know for a fact that this area inside the unit is completely hollow. Extra memory ports or a storage compartment for the cable would have been a nice feature. My advice would be to use a dedicated memory card for your stick, one that can store all save data for the arcade games that you want to play. Some games don't allow save data to be copied, so assuming this is your handset of choice for many games, having all your data in one place makes using it a lot more straightforward. And as you might have guessed, the stick is also not compatible with the vibration pack either.
Obviously wear and tear is a big issue, and frequent play can cause buttons to jam and for the stick to become stiff and inconsistent. Heavy play should be teamed with light cleaning to keep your controller working nicely.
As an older accessory, the face buttons are quite soft to press and more prone to damage and dust buildup than modern microswitch buttons, which require less of a push.
Unfortunately, the previous owner of my stick didn't clean it before storage, which has caused minor rusting on the outer metal components. I probably could restore this with the right cleaning agents, but be sure to keep yours stored in a cool, dry place. As well as the metal components being vulnerable, the plastic used is also susceptible to sun damage. It can tan if left in sunlight for too long, leaving it brittle and unattractive. It's a shame mine isn't in perfect condition, but the plastics are looking good and the tarnishing is only an aesthetic issue. Performance-wise, it's almost perfect, and because of the slight damage, it was a bit of a bargain. I picked mine up for £45, which is about half of what you pay for one going as new, which would cost you maybe £70 or £80. It was also unboxed, which brought the price down further.
Overall, I'd say it's definitely worth it. There are countless titles which this accessory enhances, and if you're really into fighting games, it goes without saying that you'll want these standardised controls, especially if you're lucky enough to be local to a competitive community which shares your passion.
The arcade stick was available in all regions where the Dreamcast was sold, so you'll find it easily online. Don't pay over £30 for one with sun damage though. Find one that's been looked after and continue to do so. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.